Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika Tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about frames concept in HTML. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. Frames are used to divide our browser window into multiple sections, where each section can load a separate HTML document. Till now, whatever the programs we have written in HTML, all the content have been displayed in the browser window. But if you want to divide the browser window into multiple sections, such a way that in each section you can display separate content, that can be done with the help of the frame. So the browser window in the frames is divided in the similar way as the tables are organized into rows and columns. So a frame can be divided into multiple sections. You can divide them into rows or you can divide them into multiple columns where you will do in the tables. A collection of frames in the browser window is known as Frameset. We are saying that frames are used to divide the browser into multiple sections, right? So in each section you will have a separate frame. So frame set is nothing but a collection of frames in the browser window. If you want to create the frames on a web page, we need to create the frame set because the frame set is a collection of frames in the browser window. So the frame set tag is useful to create the frame set. Generally, you know that in HTML we have two sections. One is the head section and the body section. Head section is useful for you to display the title, etc. Whereas the information which you want to display on the browser, that information you will keep it in the body tag. But whenever we are using the frames concept, we no need to use the body tag. We can use the frame set tag in place of the body tag when you are dividing the browser into collection of frames. The frame set tag defines how to divide the windows into frames. As I said earlier, we can divide into rows and columns. The rows attribute in the frameset tag defines the horizontal frames, whereas the columns attribute defines the vertical frames. So the frameset tag, you can either use the rows attribute if you want to divide them into horizontal frames, or you can use the columns attribute if you want to divide them into vertical frames. Now let me discuss this concept practically so that you will understand in a better way. So I will go to the desktop and you can see HTML programs. We have several programs already I have discussed and uploaded in my Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. If you want to refer, I request you to go back and watch those videos. Now let me create the new text document and I will make it as frames .html because any HTML program, either you should use the extension as HTML or HTM. Then it will ask, are you sure you want to change it? Yes, I want to change it. Now let me right click this one, open with Notepad++. Now let me write the program. So I have to specify as doc type HTML, and then I need to specify the HTML open tag and HTML close tag. And in the HTML we have two major tags. One is the head tag and the body tag. The head tag is useful for you to display the title, metadata, etc. Whereas the body tag is useful for you to display the content in the web browser. So I will write here frames concept. This should be the title of my browser, and in place of body tag I will use the frameset tag because in place of body tag we can use the frameset tag to display the content in the web browser into multiple frames. So I will write frameset, and this frameset tag can use two main attributes. So one is the rows and cols, which represents the columns. The rows attribute is useful for you to divide the browser window into multiple horizontal frames, whereas cols attribute is useful for you to divide into vertical frames. So first I will use the rows attribute, and this will have 3 frames, so you need to specify the size. So I will write here 15%. So the first frame will occupy the 15% of the entire browser window. Let's consider that this is the 100%. Now I am dividing into horizontal, right? So the first one will take the 15% of the 100%, and then I will write here star. What is the significance of the star? I will tell you, and then I will write 20%. Now I am dividing into 3 frames. The first frame occupies 15%, the last frame occupies 20%, and the remaining percentage, how much? 65% will be allocated to the second frame. Instead of calculating and writing, I can write the star. So it will add 15 and 20, and it will subtract from 100. So 15 plus 20 is 35. From 100, if I subtract 35, the remaining 65% will be allocated to the second frame. And then, as I said earlier, we have the frame tag, which is useful for you to provide the which document you want to display. Okay, now to do that one, let me go to the HTML programs. We can see we have first.html is there. Okay, and then heading.html, several informations are there, right? We will use any of them. So I will write open with notepad plus plus, right? I should write, or you can open with notepad also, but notepad plus plus will looks good. So it says that welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. So this one I will write in the first frame and the third frame, and the second frame I will use the images.html, which is already written to display the image of Parnika. Okay, let's use all these things. So here I will write first.html, which already we have written. Okay, and the second one I will use the images.html, or you can create the new files also. And then third one, frame src is equal to, I will write it as first.html only. Okay, so I have divided the browser into 3 frames. So first one is 15%, second one is 65, third one is 20, and I have provided the files also using the frame tag, and then I need to close the frameset tag. So now let me save this program, and let me go to the HTML programs. Open this frames.html with Microsoft Edge or any browser. Remember one thing, the frames concept have been deprecated in HTML5. So we are not using this frames concept in HTML. So some browsers may not display the frames clearly. So let me open this one. See, you can see the web browser has been divided into 3 sections. The first section is displaying welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel, and the second section is displaying the Parnika image, and third one you have welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. I have divided into 3 rows, right? I will divide into 4 rows. What I will do, I will make this one as another 20%. So then first one you have 15%, third one 20, fourth one 20%. So remaining will be how much? 15 plus 20, 35, 35 plus 20 is 55. So you will have 45% for the second one. So let me use the, again, frame src is equal to images.html. Okay, then you can see what will happen. Let me close this one and let me save it, and let me go to the HTML programs, again open with Microsoft Edge. Now you can see there is a scroll option is coming here, right? You can see, but the problem here is what is happening. Now you can observe one thing, the browser have been divided into 4 sections. The first section is displaying welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel, and second section is displaying Parnika image, and third section is displaying Parnika image, but how much space you have given? 20%, but the second one you have given around 55%, not 50, 45% we have given, because this one we have provided 15%, this one 20, this one 20. So this one will have 45%, because you have provided 45%, the information has been displayed properly. But however, you have not given enough space, so that's why you need to scroll it. Okay, then only the information will be displayed. So this way is not looking good, right? So that's why people are not using the frames concept. We will divide into multiple columns. So in place of rows, I will use the columns attribute. Let's see how it will looks. I'll go to the HTML programs and then open with Microsoft Edge. Now you can observe the window has been divided into multiple frames which are divided into vertically. So you can observe the first frame has been displayed, welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel, and the second frame is displaying the Parnika image, and third one is also Parnika image, and fourth one welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. So like this you can use the rows attribute or columns attribute in Frameset tag to divide the browser window into multiple rows or columns in the same way as we will have the table. Now what I will do is that I will make it more complex. What I will do is that first I will use one Frameset tag to divide into multiple rows, and then in one of them I will divide into columns. So first what I will do, I will make 15, then star 20. Here I will use the rows attribute. Okay, then what I will do here is that if I do like this, first we'll discuss this one. Okay, already we have discussed, just again I will display the information for you. Let me go to the HTML programs and frames.html, open with Microsoft Edge. Now you can observe welcome to Parnika Tutorials, like this information is displayed. Now this frame, the second frame where the Parnika image has been displayed, right, that frame I will want to divide into multiple columns. That we can do it. How to do it I will discuss now. So I will use again here Frameset tag, and now I will divide into multiple columns. Okay, one is having the 50% and another one I want to have the 50%. In place of writing here 15%, I can specify the star also. Okay, then I will close the Frameset tag, and in between the open tag and close tag I want to provide the frame tag. So src is equal to images.html, and another one I want to display the lists. Okay, we have a file called lists.html, so I will use that one, lists.html, and now I have to remove this one. Now I hope you can observe what I have done is that first I have used the Frameset tag and rows attribute to divide into 3 frames. In the first one I am displaying first.html, and second one earlier I was only displaying the Parnika image which is there in the images.html, and then at the bottom we have displayed the first.html. Now this one I have divided into 2 columns. So to do that one I have used the Frameset tag and columns attribute, and I have provided 50%. So it will divide into exactly half, and in one section I want to display the images.html, meaning is that Parnika image, and another one I want to display the content which is there in the lists.html. Now let me save this one and open the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see we have divided this browser window into multiple sections. First we have divided into 3 rows, and then the second row we have divided into 2 columns. Like that we can use the Frameset tag to divide the browser window into multiple frames. Now let me discuss few attributes which are there in the Frameset tag and also the frame tag. First let me discuss all the attributes in the Frameset tag. Already we have discussed that there are 2 attributes called rows and calls. The rows attribute defines horizontal frames and calls attribute defines the vertical frames. And now we have another attribute called border. This attribute specifies the width of the border of each frame in pixels. So the syntax is you need to specify border and you want to provide how many pixels, right? That information you need to provide within the double quote. Suppose if I want to provide the border of 5 pixels, then I need to provide the value as 5 here. Similarly, we have the frame border. The frame border attribute specifies a 3-dimensional border should be displayed between the frames. Between the frames, if you want to provide a 3-dimensional border, then you can use the frame border. It takes 2 values only. One is 1 and another one is 0. If you want to provide the frame border, then you need to provide the value as 1. If you does not want to provide the frame border, then you need to provide the value as 0. Similarly, we have frame spacing attribute. This attribute specifies the amount of space between the frames in the frame set. Between the frames, if you want to provide any space, then we can use the attribute called frame spacing attribute. You can provide an integer value. For example, if you want to provide a space of 10 pixels, then you can use the value as 10. So the syntax is you need to provide frame spacing is equal to, and you can provide within the double quotes 10, and here you can write small f. So like this you can use the frame spacing attribute in Frameset tag. So these are the various attributes you can use the Frameset tag. One is the rows, columns, border, frame border and frame spacing. All this one we will discuss now practically. So let me provide the rows and columns we have already discussed, right? So let me provide border is equal to 10 I will provide, and then I will write frame border, and it will take either value 1 or 0. So I will provide the value as 1, and then frame spacing I will provide the value as 10. So border is 10 pixels, frame border which is a 3-dimensional border, and frame spacing I am providing as value 10. So frame spacing specifies the space between the frames. Let me save this one and go to the Microsoft Edge. Let me refresh it. Now you can see there is a 3-dimensional border, and also there is a border, and there is a frame spacing also available. So like this you can use these attributes in the Frameset tag. So now we will discuss the attributes in the frame tag. As you already know, we have one of the attribute in the frame tag is src. This attribute is used to give the file name that should be loaded in the frame. So whatever the file you want to load in the frame, that information you need to provide in the src attribute only. Similarly, we have another attribute called name. This attribute allows you to give a name to a frame. So if you want to give a name to any frame, then you can use an attribute called name. Also, we have two more attributes called margin width and margin height. The margin width attribute allows you to specify the width of the space between the left and right of the frame borders. Between the frame borders where you want to provide the frame information, you want to give any space to the left and to the right. That information you can provide using the margin width. Similarly, if you want to provide the space at the top and bottom, that information you can provide in the attribute called margin height. These two attributes will take the integer value which is in form of a pixels. Suppose if you are providing the margin width as 10, then meaning is that it will provide a space of 10 pixels in the left and right of the frame border. We have scrolling attribute. The scrolling attribute controls the appearance of the scroll bars that appear on the frame. In one of the previous program, when we have displayed the Parnika image into two rows, in one of the row, the Parnika image was not completely displayed. Then we have seen the scroll bar, right? That scroll bar, if you does not want to appear, then you can do with the help of the scrolling attribute. If you say take the value as no, then the scrolling option will not be available. If you say yes, then the scrolling option will be available. So the scrolling attribute controls the appearance of the scroll bar. It takes values either yes, no or auto. If you provide the option as yes, then the scroll bar will be displayed. If you provide the option as no, then the scrolling bar will not be displayed. Now let me discuss all these attributes in the frame tag practically so that you will understand in a better way. So let me take the frame src. Already we have discussed the src attribute, and also we have the name attribute, right? So I will write name is equal to, let me provide it as Jagadish. So for this frame, I am providing the name as Jagadish. Similarly, we can provide the margin width and margin height. Let me do that one. So margin width is equal to, let me provide it as 10. And similarly, margin height, I will provide it as some 15. And then I will provide the scrolling is equal to yes. Then we will see what will happen. Let me save this one, go to the Microsoft Edge, let me refresh it. Now you can see we have a space between the frame and then this content. Welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel, because you have provided the margin width and margin height. Like this, we can use the attributes in the frame tag. Suppose you are using any browser which does not support the frames, because frames concept has been deprecated in HTML5. So people are not using the frames concept, and some browsers may not support this frames concept also. So if you are using any browser which does not support the frames concept, then you can use the no frames tag should be displayed to the user. So let's consider that you have written the frames program and you are executing in one of the browser which does not support, then the frames will not be displayed, right? In place of that one, you want to display some information that you can do with the help of no frames tag. Now let me discuss this concept with a one program so that you will understand how this no frames tag will be useful. So what I will do few changes in this frames.html only. I will use the doc type HTML head, title, all these things, and then I will write the frameset everything, and then I will write the no frames here tag, no frames tag, and whatever the information you want to display, right, that information you need to write in the body tag. Okay, let me open the body tag and close the body tag, and also let me close the no frames tag. Okay, so I have opened the no frames tag and closed the no frames tag, and in between I have provided the body tag. In this one I will write some h1 frames concept does not support in your browser. Okay, let me close the h1 tag. This is a heading tag, I think you already know it. Okay, let me save it. Let me go to the Microsoft Edge browser and let me refresh it. So as this Microsoft Edge is supporting the frames concept, then this information is not displayed, right? Frames concept does not support in your browser. But if you are running this program in any browser which does not support the frames concept, in place of displaying these frames, it will display the information as frames concept does not support in your browser, so that the programmer will understand that my browser does not support the frames concept. I hope you have understood the frames concept. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.